Howdy everyone. Just got my coffee. A little bit late by 1 minute, forgive me. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Welcome, virgins. Are you ready to jump right into it? We're going to be learning about virginity today. About Isis. About the world. First things first, let's say hello to chat. Howdy, Tyler. And before the rest of the Amerifats are late. Yes. Howdy, another guy. You know another guy I'm still reading, Circle of Inevitability, just taking it slow now. Almost finished, actually. Like, I think I'm to like chapter 1145. It's alright. Howdy, Nulu. Shalom, Bobby Bob, out tuition, and surf, keeping it hermetic based. Coffee, shaking my head. Richard is separating the astral body from his physical body. Bro is never becoming a bodhisattva. Who says I want to become a bodhisattva? You gotta see, everyone's like, oh, bodhisattva, oh, I'm an arhat. No one wants to be a maha siddhi. Cultivating powers and being a Giga Chad. Howdy, bro. How do I say your name? Is that Saturn? Looks like you used a bunch of symbols to write out the word Saturn, right? And then it looks like it's Mars, but it's got a dot in it, so it's like solar Mars with the Sig lightning bolt and Uranus? Are you an Aquarius, bro? What's going on? What's going on? Saturn-ish. Oh, Saturn-ish. That's hilarious. That juice in the chat. Bro, surf. Come on. He's a Promethean. Hey, esoteric programmer. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. Love a little bit of symbology. Seen that scene in Boondock Saints? Goddamn, William Dafoe is such a good actor. Now let's talk about the tarot. Rich, you didn't fall back 1 hour? No, I hate daylight savings. I hate daylight savings. Daylight savings is the 9/11 of time systems. It sucks. It's just... Everyone's like, oh, but the farmers or the fishers or something, whatever reason they have for daylight savings, they're wrong. And they need to be taken to a concentration camp and fed only beans, because that's all they deserve to eat. They no longer deserve human rights. I hate daylight savings. Now, one of Bro's symbols is an unknown from Pokemon, and that's based. Oh, really? That's cool. Saturn seems pretty based, guys. We are Jew. Quote, Kanye. I think Kanye has a couple of other quotes that match that. Now, I've been shuffling this tarot deck. Let's see what card arises for today's pull. This is very symbolic. Very symbolic. Who can guess what card I'm holding up? This is Major Arcana, remember? No one's saying... Anyone who says Two of Cups, banned immediately. It's Major Arcana only. Major Arcana. Glorious symbols. Probably one of... Not my favorite card to pull, but go with some of the richest symbolism in the entire tarot, by far. We got a guess for the Tower. Okay. Howdy, Coco, by the way. Bob's guessing the Star. 6 of Clines, you son of a bitch. Tyler guessing 2. Okay. And we got a guess for Death as well. Okay. Necrodick. Jesus Christ. You people just trolling now. Okay. I'll seal the card away, and we'll see at the end Who guessed correct? Okay, 5 minutes in. Got a guess for the moon from our tuition? Okay. 5 minutes in. Nulu guessing Wheel of Fortune. Very interesting take. Very interesting. Now, 5 minutes in. Let's lock in. Manly P. Hall. Chapter 7. Isis. The Virgin of the World. Isis is the ultimate trad wife, guys. Who wants a trad wife? Whoever wants a trad wife, send this live stream to them. Ooh. So I'm just going to move my other headphones here in case that knocking creates sound. Oh, Surf also guessed Wheel. Okay, so we got 2 for Wheel of Fortune. Howdy Voices in the Wilderness. So I'm just like, guys, we're locking in for the Virgin, and people start talking about Adventure Time. Oh, they put the Hanged Man in it. Okay, interesting. I'm just gonna start reading. It is especially fitting that a study of Hermetic symbolism should begin with a discussion of the symbols and attributes of the Saitic Isis. What does Saitic mean? This is the Isis of Sais. Okay, so the city of Sais. Where was Sais? I'm guessing Sais was in Anatolia. Let's check it. Oh, it's an Egyptian city. Oh my god, I'm dumb. Oh my god. Why am I so dumb? It's Isis. Of course it's going to be in Egypt. Duh. Okay, so all the different cities had different takes on the gods. So, Sais, famous for the inscription concerning her, which appeared on the front of her temple in the city. I, Isis, am all that has been, that is or shall be. No mortal man hath ever me unveiled. Oh, Esoteric Programmer. Gifted 5 memberships. Based. Aussie Oddities and Ordinary received a gift. Lol. What a name. No pause in the chat. Coco still missed out though. Is the Carter Tower burning on fire? I see fire. Interesting, Coco. Interesting. You'll see at the end. But also, thank you, Esoteric Programmer. Also joining the Giga Chads. Esoteric is like Necrodancer and Tyler, and then Esoteric Programmer, they're also a Giga Chad. Rich confused the emanations. Inanna is in Anatolia. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking because like before, in some of the other stuff, the previous chapters, they were yelling out, he was yelling out all these like cities, and I was like, where are these? And they were all in Anatolia. But yeah, no, I'm just a dumb pee-pee person. But no, this is Isis saying how she's never been, she is everything, but she has never been seen. She's everywhere all at once, but has never been unveiled. It's interesting, in medieval alchemy, when they talk about the prima materia, they use the same language. So Isis is the foundation, the feminine, the chaos, the seething chaos behind everything that all arises from. The prima materia. Let's see what we got. Plutarch affirms that many ancient authors believed this goddess to be the daughter of Hermes. Very interesting. So the daughter of wisdom. Sophia, dare I say. Others held the opinion that she was a child of Prometheus. Prometheus. Getting jiggy. Both of these demigods were noted for their divine wisdom. It is not improbable that her kinship to them is merely allegorical. Plutarch translates the name Isis to mean wisdom. Does he? Okay. Godfrey Higgins, in his Anacolapsis, derives the name Isis from the Hebrew. Well, what do we got here? Man, I wish I... So there's a shin and a yod. What's this again? Is this a tzad or whatever it is? It's Isis? No, it's a tzis. Tzisi. I don't know Hebrew. Oh, Esau. That's what it is. So the yod makes an O sound. Esau. The Greek... I guess that's... How do you... What is it? Isu? To save some authorities, however. For example, Richard Payne Knight. This is such a Giga Chad name. I have no idea who he is. But like, yeah, first name Richard, but also Payne Knight is his last name. Bro, this guy, historian, has the name of a Dark Souls boss. The Payne Knight. What a Giga Chad. Richard Payne Knight, as stated in his Symbolical Language of Ancient Art and Mythology. I feel like I should buy this just for the name. How old is this book, by the way? Internet Archive? Yeah, I'll check that up later. We're guessing some Athena in chat. Isis is connected to Athena? Possibly. Athena wasn't birthed from Prometheus. Actually, is she? Because there's some... No. Oh, yeah, there is some tales where Prometheus... Because Athena arrives out of Zeus, but in some tales, Prometheus aids in her birth by using an axe and striking the head of the Zeus, the father, so that it allows Athena to arrive. So because of that, you could say Prometheus is the father of Athena in that sense. Wisdom gives birth... Sorry, foresight gives birth to wisdom, or Athena. Now, let's keep going. Believe the word. So, Richard Payne Knight believes the word to be a northern extraction. Of course he would. Possibly Scandinavian or Gothic. I mean, doubt, but it would be cool. I always find these theories that are, like, completely wrong have this logic that bends back. It's like crazy logic, but it's actually interesting to see their logic, even if they're wrong. Like guys who try really hard to be like everything comes from one place. The logical backflips they do are nonetheless interesting. In these languages, the name is pronounced Isa, meaning ice. So from the rune Isrun, or the Isa rune, or water in its most passive, crystallized negative state. Yes. It's interesting, in the Norse kind of cosmology, ice is more primordial than waters. Or ice, or crystals. The crystalline structure. Now, this Egyptian deity, under many names, appears as the principal natural fecundity among nearly all the religions of the ancient world. She was known as the goddess with 10,000 appellations, and was metamorphosed by Christianity into the Virgin Mary. For Isis, although she gave birth to all living things, chief among them the sun, still remained a virgin, according to the legendary accounts. So she is the mother of the gods, but she's also a virgin. So there's this duplicity. There's, like in the Thunder Perfect Mind, there's this dualism that betrays a non-dualism. Dualism, remember kids, dualism is a ladder that leads to the one. And in this case, the one isn't symbolized by a father or a masculine thing, it is a feminine thing. A Demeter or Gaia fusion even. Interesting. Primordial Mother Nature archetype. Yeah, it's a primordial mother kind of thing. Because it's like, when you go female goddesses, you can tier rank them. In a sense, there's like the primordial that's formless, and then there's like a cosmic mother, and then you can say there's a Mother Nature and a Mother Death, and they're like sisters, and then there's some kind of... And then under that you just have this feminine, this general fae, divine feminine kind of thing. Or the divine wife. Shub-Niggurath is also given the number 10. Okay. Nulu Richard, is the connected to the mother goddess tradition that mainstream scholars say was the original religious tradition pre-Skyfather, pre-Venusian fertility goddess? Do they say that? I mean, what's his name? Robert Graves was very big on primordial goddess religion, but I think a lot of people dunked on him. But it seems to be... There does seem to be something going on, because like take in the New World, the Incas have some weird... Because the Incas are a solar people, but there's literally some Lord of the Rings kind of history to do with the Incas where they was actually a goddess worshipping religion, and they came in. The sun worshippers dominated the goddess worshipping religion. So it does seem to be that there is this primordial moon chthonic goddess tradition that gets topped by some solar masculine religion, that then history then begins. Tier rank, don't do that. My man Paris lost his city. Do that. Oh, yeah, that's true actually, Coco. This example made me think of contradiction rather than dualism. Yes, yes. It's the there's a paradox, but if you embrace paradox, you can go beyond it, because the thing we want to touch is beyond language, because language is created through rationalism, our mind, our consciousness. But our consciousness, our conscious awareness, our reasoning faculties filter the world and order everything. But things, we say filtered, what's filtered out? What's filtered out is the noumena. What's filtered out goes into our subconsciousness. But that means that there is stuff, and it just builds up in our subconsciousness. And so when we interact with stuff in our subconsciousness, it can't speak. Why? Because words are what? Words are just concepts that we conceptualize using our reasoning faculties. So when we interact with the subconsciousness, it literally cannot speak words, because if it could speak, it would just be part of our consciousness, our reasoning faculty. So it has to speak through some other means. So it usually speaks through symbols, and we get these weird contradictions that point to something beyond language. When the French philosophers, with their gay Marxism and dialectical materialism, are always like, there's nothing outside of the text. No, the noumenon is outside of the text, and that's what we're doing. We're trying to get outside of the text, outside of language. We're trying to escape language. Language is a prison. Language is a virus that infects the mind. Language itself is an egregor which filters and restricts us and binds us. Language is the logos, and we're trying to escape the masculine and return to the chaotic divine feminine. You know what I'm saying? Psychology of religion professor at school explains that Mother Goddess was original religion, and the male god develops as gender roles develop in our evolution. Yeah, people always talk about that kind of stuff, but I don't know. The Venusian fertility goddess developed as a recapture of matriarchy through worship of the chthonic and sense pleasure, where male god then redominate via transcendent spirituality and response. The thing is, the female goddess never gets dissolved. The female goddess just becomes the initiatory system. Like, you can look at the Greeks, they all worship Zeus, but then in the Eleusinian mysteries it was all Demeter, Persephone, Psyche. It was all feminine. So the female becomes the occult, and the mystery schools still partake in the female fertility rites. So the sun becomes the exterior, and the moon becomes the symbol of the occult. And yes, Abraxas is another paradox, the Gnostic paradox, because he has the head of the rooster, solar, and he has the two legs of the serpents, chthonic, feminine. He's also a synthesis. That's what we got to do. We got to synthesize the contradictions, the paradoxes. Voice in the wilderness. This idea of this part not being able to speak is reminiscent of Michael Aquinas, the Temple of Set guy, Mind Warp paper. Okay, that's interesting. How we have a huge pool of information which we register subconsciously. Exactly. Howdy, Richard's member. Did we choose a card already? Yes, this is the card right here. We've had a bunch of guesses. What was it? Tyler guessed 2. We got a death. Some people guessed Hanged Man. A couple of guesses for Wheel of Fortune. What other guesses did we have? Oh yeah, another guy guessed the Magician again. That's very interesting. But yes, and so this is it. The subconscious is this storehouse, this pool of knowledge which we're trying to access. The subconscious is that dark astral region which we're trying to reach and bring into the consciousness to create that alchemical conjunctio. We're going way off topic here, guys. Let's get back into it. Our tuition, and yes, guess the moon. Where is Bird Friend? Oh my god. Boop. Carl, sorry, Carl was... Let me restore him to his throne. There he is, on top of the taro pack. Metaphor I've started to see is that the occult is what runs reality in the same way the organs unseen to us keep us alive. Yes, that's a great metaphor, Nulu. The unseen is what's real, and what we call real is merely representation. Now, Apuleius, Jesus Christ. Did we read this actually? Egyptian deity, what do we know? Yes, we did. Apuleius, in the 11th book of the Golden Ass, that ass, Giat, ascribes to the goddess the following statement concerning her powers and attributes. Behold, I, moved by thy prayers, am present with thee. I, who am nature, the parent of things, the queen of all the elements, the primordial progeny of ages, the supreme of divinities, the sovereign of the spirits of the dead, the first of the celestials, the uniform resemblance of gods and goddesses. I who rule by my nod, the luminous summits of the heavens, the salubrious breezes, bro. What? He's just making up words now. Health-giving, salubrious. Okay. Salubrious breezes of the sea. The deplorable silences of the realms beneath. Ooh. The deplorable silences of the realms beneath. That's such a good line. Whose one divinity the whole orb of the earth venerates under a manifold form, by different rites and a variety of appellations. Hence the primordial Phrygians call me Pessinontica, the mother of the gods. She is the mother of the gods. The Attic Aborigines, Cecropian Minerva, the floating Cyprians, Paphian Venus, the arrow-bearing Cretans, Diana, Dictina. Bro, what are these frickin' epithets? The three-tongued Sicilians. Sicilians have 3 tongues? Really? Stygian Proserpine, and the Eleusinians, the ancient goddess Ceres. Some also call me Juno, others Bellona, others Hecate, others Rhamnusia. I've never heard some of these. Like, I think these would be like great, like, video game. If you ever make like a system in a video game that has titles, you gotta use some of these. I want to see Dictania as a title. And those who are illuminated by the incipient rays of the divinity, the sun. Incipient rays, like F the sun, guys. When he rises, viz. The Ethiopians, the Ari, and the Egyptians skilled in ancient learning worship me by ceremonies, perfectly appropriate, call me by my true name, Queen Isis. That's pretty based, guys, not gonna lie. The mic input is too high, Richard. Really? I've just got to lean back more and speak like this. Let me just make my screen bigger. Is that better? Spraying Skies. I need to read the Golden Ass. It's really long. No, wait, sorry. The Golden Bow is really long. I need to read the... We all need to read the Golden Ass. Above gay, below gay. The way things should be. Silence is the lack of sound vibration, meaning it is absent of energy, right? Is it? Or is it just a high vibration that's like a motion that's so fast we cease to perceive it? Omnipresent Occidenok based Spraying Skies. The omnipresent Occidenok is Isis. 3 tongues means slanderer, to lie or to complain. Okay, so they just did not like the Sicilians. They're like, those Sicilians, those filthy island dwellers. Big Hole Art. Hi, Richard. Hi, Big Hole Art. The Bornless Ritual has some great names. Yeah. A lot of the... You see, we gotta start going... Video game authors need to start going back to, like... gotta start researching more ancient rituals. Carl is glowing. Like a sun god. Yes, Carl is based. What's that, Carl? Slay the filthy moon worshippers. Carl is based. We're starting a moon cult. Sun cells on suicide watch. Carl will lead his hordes of sun worshippers to defeat the moon cultists. Loco, welcome. Now, Lee Foggian believes that the Egyptian myth of Isis had a historical basis among the Mayas of Central America, where the goddess was known as Queen Mu. In Prince Ko, the same author finds a correspondence to Osiris, the brother husband of Isis. Lee Foggian's theory is that Mayan civilization was far more ancient than that of Egypt. I don't think so, but they may have had some... The thing about the Mayan culture and Egyptian culture is both are have heritage from Atlantis, so you're going to get some of this interplay, you know what I'm saying? After the death of Prince Ko, the widow, Queen Mu, fleeing to escape the wrath of his murderers, sought refuge among the Mayan colonies in Egypt, where she was accepted as their queen and was given the name Isis. While Leflogian may be right, the possible historical queen sinks into insignificance when compared with the allegorical symbolic world Virgin. The fact that she appears among so many different races and peoples discredits the theory that she was a historical individual. So she's universal. Because we've always got this historical individual becoming divine, and then there's the primordial, eternal, perennialist maxing primordial goddess. You know what I'm saying? Makes me wonder if games or other pieces of media got copyright on a bunch of occult stuff. Maybe. But I don't know, I think they're just like... They're just not educated enough. Because it's like, I respect it. Like, you know, in Bayonetta, all of the angels who are the enemies in the games are... They'll have glyphs on them. And if you actually look it up, it's actually real Enochian magic. They actually went back and studied John Dee. The makers of Bayonetta studied John Dee and used Enochian magic and inscribed it on all of their angel characters. So they do stuff like that. Rudolf Steiner predicted Apollo would incarnate as a yellow bird in the 21st century. Shh. Brother husband, yikes. It's the mystery of the twins, Saturn. It's okay. It's okay here. Isis, Queen of Heaven. From the Mosai's History de Hebrew. Kirk. Lol. Kirk? Charlie Kirk? It's all coming together. Diodorus writes of a famous inscription carved on a column at Nissa in Arabia, wherein Isis described herself as follows. I am Isis, queen of this country. I was instructed by Mercury. No one can destroy the laws which I have established. I am the eldest daughter of Saturn. I feel like there's some Zervan time-worshipping magi psyop coming in here. Anyway, most ancient of the gods. I am the wife and sister of Osiris the king, first made known to mortals. The use of wheat. I am the mother of Horus the king. In my honor was the city of Bubased built. Rejoice, O Egypt, rejoice, land that gave me birth. See Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike. We gotta do that one day, guys. We gotta do that one day. Is the great goddess also Ouroboros? Possibly, possibly. You know, the first, actually, I mean, it's more ancient, but because there's always a bunch of, like, serpents biting their tail, but, you know, in alchemy, the first appearance of that is Cleopatra, not Mark Antony and Cleopatra, but a bunch of people in history have the name Cleopatra. There was an alchemist, Cleopatra, and we only have one kind of, like, monograph or glyph of her, sheet of hers, and that is, on that, there's an Ouroboros, and that is the oldest, one of the oldest Ouroboroses in alchemy. The oldest in alchemy, definitely, Western alchemy, and one of the oldest Ouroboroses that we have in recorded history, and it's from a female alchemist, funnily enough. Very interesting. Elden Ring Expedition 33, the original Assassin's Creed and Elder Scrolls are very occult. Yes. One day I'll play these games. According to Sextus Empiricus, another guy with one of the best names ever, the Trojan War was fought over a statue of the moon goddess for this lunar Helena, and not for a woman. The Greeks and Trojans struggled at the gates of Troy. Several authors have attempted to prove that Isis, Osiris, Typhon, Nephthys, and Auroris, Thoth or Mercury, were grandchildren of the great Jewish patriarch Noah and his son Ham. But as the story of Noah and his ark is a cosmic allegory concerning the repopulation of planets at the beginning of each world period, this only makes it less likely that they were historical personages, according to Robert Flood. Hello. Robert Flood the Alchemist. According to Robert Flood the Alchemist, the sun has three properties: life, light, and heat. These three vivifying and vitalizing the three worlds, spiritual, intellectual, and material, actually based Floodian. Therefore, it is said from one light, three lights, i.e. the first three Master Masons. That's so based. Masonic esotericism right here. In all probability, Osiris represents the third or material aspect of solar activity, which by its beneficent influences vitalizes and enlivens the flora and fauna of the earth. Osiris is not the sun, but the sun is symbolic of the vital principle of nature, which the ancients knew as Osiris. His symbolic, therefore, was an open eye in honor of the great eye of the universe, the sun opposed to the active, radiant principle of impregnating fire, here and motion was the passive, receptive principle of nature. So opposed to the radiant, impregnating fire, motion was the okay. Was an opened eye in honor of the great eye. So is this just more Masonic stuff because they have the open eye? Okay, okay, that's interesting. Modern science has proved that forms ranging in a multitude. Sorry, I'm just going to move that up a little bit. From solar systems to atoms are composed of positive radiant nuclei, surrounded by negative bodies, protons surrounded by no electrons. Electrons are negatively charged. Negative bodies that exist Upon the emanations of the central life from this allegory, we have the story of Solomon and his wives. For Solomon is the sun, and his wives and concubines are the planets, moons and asteroids, and other receptive bodies within the house. The solar mansion, Isis, represented in the Song of Solomon by the dark maid of Jerusalem, is symbolic of receptive nature, the watery maternal principle which creates all things. Of herself, after impregnation has been achieved by the virility of the sun. I feel like there's some kind of, like, white guy drinking a white monster, and then, like, Kazam Milka's meme, like, locked in here somewhere, but I don't have the energy to bring it out. Dark Souls, Demon Souls? Occult legitimacy? Yes, they're all... Dark Souls is very based. Very based. And occult. Yeah, Assassin's Creed wants to be... Assassin's Creed used to be kind of cool conspiracy occult because of, like, the Templar Assassins thing, but they had to butcher it to keep the series going. Because really the original Assassin's Creed series really was a science fiction, was supposed to lead to modern day with, what was his name, Desmond? It was supposed to be a modern day Desmond, like, kind of jumping around skyscrapers, but they had to butcher the series to keep it going and do different eras. Which, you know, you still get some fun games, but you'll never get the, like, a fusion of Cyberpunk and Assassin's Creed now. They're just going to keep on going for weird historical eras. There's a good green text that goes over Minecraft and the occult. Really? Okay. Okay. Bunkai. Wait, so is this saying Solomon is not real according to... No. He's just saying the symbol of Solomon there has this significance to it. Because there's historical individuals that get symbols applied to them, and then there's normal. And then there's primordial beings. Hey, Kimberly, totally forgot about daylight savings. Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't change for anyone because I hate daylight savings. You can see, if you go back to the beginning, you can see my rant against the filthy, disgusting traitors, adherents of daylight savings that will be slain when the time comes. Our tuition says, imagine being an asteroid in Solomon's harem. Like, you're not even a planet or a moon. It's a damn asteroid, girl. Kazam milk. A delicacy, says Coco. Hashashin. In the ancient world, the year had 360 days. The 5 extra days were gathered together by the god of cosmic intelligence to serve as the birthdays of the 5 gods and goddesses, who are called the sons and daughters of Ham. Ham. Upon the first of these special days, Osiris was born, and upon the 4th of them, Isis. The number 4 shows the relation that this goddess bears to the earth and its elements. Typhon, the great demon or spirit of the adversary, was born upon the 3rd day. Typhon is often symbolized by a crocodile. Sometimes his body is a combination of crocodile and hog. Crankin'. He gets cranked. Isis stands for knowledge, wisdom, and according to Plutarch, the word Typhon means insolence and pride. Egotism, self-centeredness, and pride are deadly enemies of understanding the truth. This part of the allegory is revealed. After Osiris, here symbolized as the sun, had become king of Egypt and had given to his people the full advantage of his intellectual light, he continued his path through the heavens, visiting the peoples of other nations and converting all with whom he came in contact. Plutarch further asserts that Greeks recognized in Osiris the same person whomst they revered under the name of Dionysus and Bacchus. Hold on a second. So Osiris is also Dionysus and Bacchus. I don't know about that. I mean, because he dies and resurrects. Yeah, I get it, I get it. While he was away from his country, his brother Typhon, the evil one, like the Loki of Scandinavia, plotted against the sun god to destroy him, gathering 72 persons as fellow conspirators. He attained his nefarious end in the most subtle manner. He had a wonderful ornamented box made just the size of the body of Osiris. This he brought into a banquet hall where the gods and goddesses were feasting together. Gods and goddesses really love feasts, don't they? All admired the beautiful chest, and Typhon promised to give it to the one whose body fitted it most perfectly. One after another they laid in the box. But in disappointment rose again, until the last. Osiris also tried. The moment he was in the chest, Typhon and his accomplices nailed the cover down, sealed the cracks with molten lead. They then cast the box into the Nile, down which it floated to the sea. Like, it's such an interesting story, because it implies all the other goddesses at the feast were just like, oh. Like, while the lead's being applied, it's like, should we intervene? No. It's no, don't do it. It's all part of the act. It's like, Osiris can break out anytime. He's fine. Like, they just started drinking copium as a part of a feast dish. Plutarch states that the date upon which this occurred was the 17th day of the month, Aether. When the sun was in the constellation of Scorpio. Scorpio is the date of betrayal, where you betray a guy and have sex with his wife. This is, and that's very Hamlet, you know what I'm saying? This is what Hamlet is about. Hamlet is about a dude who kills his brother and has sex with his wife, and then the son of his brother kills him. That's what Hamlet is about. Hamlet, Shakespeare was an occultist, and Hamlet is a retelling of this story. That's what's up. That's what's up. Sorry, I missed that sentence. Steamed hams, the son of Ham. That's hilarious. It's like Loki of Scandinavia, the Aurora Borealis. Steamed hams, Ham, the son. It's all connected. The steamed hams, it's all connected. Shakespeare conspiracies get me bricked so hard. Yes. It's very Egyptian to combine gods. Exactly. See, Judas was definitely a Scorpio. You know what I'm saying, girls? Only a Scorpio would do that. Anyway, constellation of Scorpio. This most significant for the Scorpion is the symbol of treachery. The time when Osiris entered the chest was also the same season that Noah entered the ark to escape the deluge. Very interesting. Judas says Scorpio. Scorpio! Plutarch further declares that Pans and satyrs, the nature spirits and elementals, first discovered that Osiris had been murdered. They were like, oh no, Osiris, he's gone. We need to get all of the big boys to help us bring Osiris back. I think, like, they're all like the twinks. Nature spirits are like twinks. You know what I'm saying? And the gods are like the jocks. Gay porn is esoteric. No, I'm kidding. These immediately raised an alarm. And from this incident, the word panic, meaning fright or amazement. We haven't mentioned occult femboys yet in this. We're not going to. Meaning fright or amazement of the multitudes originated Isis. Isis, upon receiving the news of her husband's murder, which she learned from some children who had seen the murderers making off with the box, at once robbed herself in mourning and started forth in quest of him. At length, Isis discovered that the chest had floated to the coast of Byblos. Where is Byblos? Italy. Is it? Mediterranean coastline. Modern-day Lebanon. Huh. Ancient city. Lebanon. Lebanese. Lesbians. There it had lodged in the branches of a tree, the cedar tree, which are magic according to Russians. In short time, miraculously grew up around the box. This so amazed the king, that country, that he ordered, of that country, the king of that country, I missed the of that, so I was like, king country, what? The king of, it so amazed the king of that country that he ordered the tree to be cut down and a pillar made from its trunk to support the roof of his palace. Very based. Isis, visiting Byblos, recovered the body of her husband. It was again stolen by Typhon. What a douche. Who cut it into, what a rascal. Who cut it into 14 parts, which he scattered all over the earth. Isis, in despair, began gathering up the severed remains of her husband, but found only 13 pieces. The fourth part, the phallus, she reproduced in gold. Sometimes it says she makes it out of mud or clay. Okay, but she makes a golden dildo. Strap on, baby, let's go. R.I.P. Isis would have loved Bad Dragon, for the original had fallen into the River Nile and had been swallowed by a fish. Pisces. Pisces? Ugh, disgusting. Typhon was later slain in battle by the son of Osiris. Some of the Egyptians believed that the souls of the gods were taken to heaven. They shone forth as stars. It was supposed that the soul of Isis gleamed from the dog star, while Typhon became the constellation of the bear. Really? I think Artemis has something to say about that. It is doubtful, however, whether this idea was ever generally accepted. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know. Bro is gonna shout about the divine Futanari with the window open again. Byblos and Tyre are cities that exist vaguely in the Mediterranean. Okay. So Tyre is interesting, because that's, you know, Hiram Abiff and all of that stuff, and Solomon's Temple. So Byblos is also interesting then. Gold phallus, baby. Pisces. Richard hates Pisces. Yeah, I do. I dislike Pisces very much. She couldn't have found it, and it mustn't have been that big. She made a better one. And then that's just then making love to her husband's corpse, he resurrects. He's got a golden dong now, so he should be happy. Gold member, exactly. Gold member. Austin Powers was esoteric, guys. He lives beneath... Gold member lives beneath the waters in his submarine. It's esoteric, guys. Trust me. Among the Egyptians, Isis is often represented with a headdress consisting of the empty throne chair of her murdered husband. That's interesting. Empty throne is interesting because sometimes in some Kabbalah or Merkatha mysticism, when you ascend to heaven, the throne of God is empty. And it's like, that's where kind of, you know, you become the demiurge kind of thing. Our tuition. We Aquarians don't hate Pisces. It's just their turn to go away. Mum said it's our turn on the next celestial age. Xbox. Exactly our tuition. Aquarian master race. Let's go. Why the dislike for Pisces? My ex was a Pisces. And they're just emotional. And it's just like, no, stop. And this peculiar structure was accepted during certain dynasties as her hieroglyphic. The headdresses of the Egyptians have great symbolic and emblematic importance, for they represent the auric bodies of the superhuman intelligence and are used in the same way that the nimbus, halo, and aureole are used in the Christian religious art. The headdress of the Egyptians. Okay, yeah. Frank C. Higgins Mr. Higgins, Jr., well-known Masonic symbolist, has astutely noted that the ornate headgears of certain gods and pharaohs are inclined backwards at the same angle as the Earth's axis. The robes, insignia, jewels, and ornamentations of the ancient hierophants symbolize the spiritual energies radiating from the human body. Modern science is rediscovering many of the lost secrets of Hermetic philosophy. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. In Buddhism, there's also an importance placed on empty throne. Jesus. Serena! Stop. See, that chicken. It's Teresa? Okay. Some of these chickens are Pisces, I swear. Enigma. Howdy. Hiram Abiff seems to correspond to the Christ principle mythos. Yeah, so that's the Masonic version of the death and resurrection. Seems like Hiram replaces Christ to accommodate the non-sectarian universal nature of the Blue Lodge. Yeah, exactly. It's weird, the Blue Lodge has this thing where it's like they try to be universal Christians, so to dodge it, they're like, don't talk about religion, and here's Hiram Abiff. That's their kind of take. Oh, Ata. Welcome. And you got gifted membership? Nice. Chikun. Instead of Tikkun, that's very funny. One of these is the ability to gauge the mental development, the soul qualities, and the physical health of an individual from the streamers of semi-visible electric force which pour through the surface of the skin of every human being at all times during his life. For details concerning a scientific process for making the auric emanations visible. This is interesting because it's like we don't have any roosters, it's just chickens, so it's like the chicken crowing is the cock crowing is solar, but the chicken, it's the female voice yapping. Isis is sometimes symbolized. So it's very symbolic that we're talking about Isis in this chapter, and we got chickens just yapping in the back. Here's the solar, masculine, and then we got the feminine, yapping. Is that in Alabama? God damn. Just gotta let him go. The clucking of the hens. Isis is sometimes symbolized by the head of a cow, where she becomes half, or occasionally the entire animal is her symbol. Yes, sometimes it is, yes. The first gods of the Scandinavians were licked out of blocks of ice by the mother cow, Odd Humla, who symbolized the principle of natural nutriment and fecundity because of her milk. Occasionally, Isis is represented as a bird. Really? She often carries in one hand the crux and thata, the symbol of eternal life, and in the other, the flowered scepter, symbolic of her authority. I hear this stuff a lot. Cows, chickens, farm-pilled, protein-pilled, yeah. I mean, it would be great to be protein-pilled if they would actually lay, instead of going broody all the time. Women, am I right, guys? Thoth Hermes Trismegistus, the founder of Egyptian learning, the wise man of the ancient world, gave to the priests and philosophers of antiquity the secrets which have been preserved to this day in myth and legend. These allegories and emblematic figures conceal the secret formula for spiritual, mental, and moral and physical regeneration. So spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical regeneration, commonly known as the mystic chemistry of soul alchemy. Okay. These sublime truths were communicated to the initiates of mystery schools, but were concealed from the profane, the latter unable to understand the abstract philosophical tenets, worshipped the concrete sculptured idols, which were emblematic of these secret truths. The wisdom and secrecy of Egypt are epitomized in the Sphinx, which has preserved its secret from the seekers of 100 generations. The mysteries of Hermeticism, the great spiritual truths hidden from the world by the ignorance of the world, and the keys of the secret doctrines of the ancient philosophers are all symbolized by the Virgin Isis. So she is the prima materia, veiled from head to foot. So you know, like Sydney Sweeney's dress? That's basically, she needed to have the headdress as well, but that's basically like Isis. You know what I'm saying? She reveals her wisdom only to the tried and initiated, few who have earned the right to enter her sacred presence. Tear from the veiled figure of nature, its shroud of obscurity, and stand face to face with divine reality. So that's, to be initiated is to unveil Isis. And it says no mortal has ever seen her, and it's true because in unveiling you become immortal. So it's like this immortalizing, and in becoming immortal, in gaining initiation, you gain awakening, you see truth, and the truth transforms. It's this thing. Damn all noise and no eggs, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Tell those chickens they're going to get fried if they keep yapping. We keep telling them that. They don't stop. Proper to those three-brained beings, exactly. Yes, exactly. Sydney Sweeney has captured the collective unconsciousness. Indeed, indeed. The explanations in these pages of the symbols peculiar to the Virgin Isis are based, unless otherwise noted, on selections from free translation of the 4th book of Bibliothèque des Philosophes Hermétiques, it's always the French guys, entitled Hermetical Signification of the Symbols and Attributes of Isis, with interpolations by the compiler to amplify and clarify the text. The statues of Isis were decorated with the sun and moon and stars, and many emblems pertaining to the earth over which Isis was believed to rule, as the guardian spirit of nature personified. Several images of the goddess have been found, upon which, I don't know why I'd like tripped up on that word, upon which the marks of her dignity and position were still intact. According to the ancient philosopher, she personified universal nature, the mother of all productions. The deity was generally represented as a partly nude woman, often pregnant, pregnant, sometimes loosely covered with a garment either of green or black color. Green is interesting. Green or black, that's very interesting. It's interesting if it's black. It's interesting because pregnancy is new life, and black is usually seen as funerary. So it's death and new life if a pregnant woman is dressed in black. But also the green is also interesting because you got green, which signifies nature, but also the green of the emerald tablets, the secrets of nature. Or 4 different shades of intermingled black, white, yellow, red, all symbolic. Apules describes her as follows. What do we got going on in the chat? Howdy, Petro, by the way. No, it's combo of opposites. Kunda Sweeney. That's funny. Not that sexuality in and of itself is evil, but that it can lead into ignorance, materiality through lust. Yes, indeed. Living is evil? I mean, it's not ideal. The ideal would be to be immortal. In the first place, so this is a description of Isis. In the first place, her most copious long hairs being gradually intorted and promiscuously scattered on her divine neck. Bro, I hate it when they just make up words. Twisted or curled. So being gradually intorted. So that's when you have straight hair that kinks out. Did they have that in the old days? Okay. And promiscuously scattered on her divine neck. Promiscuously scattered. God, I love the prose. Because it's, you know, You just say like, oh, she's got hair, whatever, draped around. She's wearing her hair down. It's like, no, she's wearing her hair promiscuously scattered around her neck. I just want to like use that in a sentence, just randomly. God damn, I love it. My hair does that, and it's long over a foot. Damn, okay, Saturn. Are you a metal fan? Saturn, are you a male or a female? And if you're male, are you into heavy metal? Are you into epic metal? Are you into symphonic folk metal, Saturn? Saturn, is your favorite band Flintroll? A multiform crown consisting of various flowers bound the sublime summit of her head, and in the middle of the crown, just on her forehead, there was a smooth orb resembling a mirror, or rather a white refulgent light. Bruh. Refulgent. Shining very brightly. Bruh. A refulgent light. I gotta remember this stuff. There's all of these words that just fall out of use, and it's like, no, we gotta bring them back. Yeah, exactly. We love a good orb. A good orb, a good refulgent orb is necessary. Eluviite. Malipithosaurus, that's funny. That's funny. Is Eluviite a band? Are they good? Should I listen? So in the future, we will also need to bring back words like skibbity. Skibbity is more of a scat, isn't it? Language is powerful. Words like based, gaslight, wage slave hold power. Exactly. Okay, I'll get into it, some Eluviite. And I'll get back to you. Learning new words, that's a secondary purpose of this kind of reading. Exactly. Irish folk metal, based. A scat, as in the as in the scat man, dog, not the other thing. So when you type scat into Twitter, search bar, it's like a 50-50 game of what you're gonna see. A white refulgent light, which indicated that she was the moon. Vipers rising up after the manner of furrows environed the crown on the right hand and on the left. How very Caduceus-like. And the cerulean ears of corn. I thought cerulean was blue. What is cerulean? Am I tripping balls? No, color. Yeah, yeah, it's a kind of greeny... Why can't we just go color, bruh? Give me some cerulean color. Yeah. Yeah, cerulean ears of corn. Why are they blue? Extended from above. Her garment was of many colors, and woven from the finest flax, and was at one time lucid with white splendor, at another yellow. So she had a dress like, you know that, the black and gold, blue and white dress, or whatever it was, that everyone was like, what color is this? That's basically what Isis is wearing. Another yellow, from the flower of crocus, and another flaming with a rosy redness. But that which most excessively dazzled my sight was a very black robe, fulgid, bro. So I guess refulgent and fulgid. I think fulgid is going to be the opposite of refulgent. Let's see what's up. Shining brightly. Another one. Wait, what? So fulgid and refulgent mean the same thing. Refulgent and fulgid. A fulgid with a dark splendor. A black robe that shines with a dark splendor. Bruh. What are these words? I want to know what the etymology of fulgid and the etymology of refulgent are. If like one is Greek and one is Latin or something, or one's more Germanic and one comes from another source. Because it's like, if two words mean the same thing, they got to come from like, and they both exist in the same language. It's that language borrowed from like the two different places. Oh, cerulean is the sea blue thing. Okay, yeah, well, yeah, but why is that? Why is the corn? It's just GMO'd into being blue. Cerulean chips. Maize maxed. Lol. Effulgence. No. Fulgid, not fulgrim. Dark splendor, and which, spreading around and passing under her right side and ascending to her left shoulder, there rose protuberant, like the center of a shield, the dependent part of the robe, falling in many folds and having small knots of fringe, gracefully flowing in its extremities. Glittering stars were dispersed through the embroidered border of the robe, and through the whole of its surface, and the full moon shining in the middle of the stars breathes forth flaming fires. Nevertheless, a crown, wholly consisting of flowers and fruits of every kind, adhered with invisible connexion to the border of that conspicuous robe. No. Conspicuous just means seen, right? Right? Clearly visible. Conspicuous robe. It's like you can just say robe. Why do you need to put conspicuous there? Why do they just add extra words to describe things? In all its undulating motions, what she carried in her hands also consisted of things of a very different nature, for her right hand indeed bore a brazen rattle, a sistrum, through the narrow lamina of which, bent like a belt, certain rods passing produced a sharp triple sound through the vibrating motion of her arm. I heard they use these in Egypt as part of a meditation practice. An oblong vessel in the shape of a boat depended from her left hand, on the handle of which, in that part in which was conspicuous an asp raised in its erect head, so asp is in the snake, and largely swelling neck, and shoes woven from leaves of the victorious palm tree covered her immortal feet. Immortal feet pics, bro. This is such... Yeah, I know, right? This is like Wittgenstein word cell. We're dropping prose here, lol. Sounds like that lady singer with a fruit basket on her head. Which lady singer? Etymology of fulg is a prefix to shine or flash in Latin. Oh, fulgur meaning lighten. Okay. So effulgent. So fulgid, but then why does refulgent? And what's refulgent then? So fulgid. So just the fulgs in these words. Why do both words exist? They both just come from Latin for lightning. Why do they exist? Oh, howdy, Color Tree, by the way. This is like peak wordcellism here as well, by the way. I don't know. Is this peak wordcellism? Because this is like... We divide arbitrarily shape rotators and word cells, but people back in the day were just gigachads. And all of these words show visuals. They really show... They bring forth into your mind a deep visual, imaginative complex that only a true shape rotator would be able to see. So it's kind of like if a shape rotator was also a word cell, they would write like this. Or is just word cells just faff about nothing, and it's empty, but this prose is just so rich. Like, it's like they're both at the same time. They're both a shape rotator and a word cell. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, guys? Am I tripping? One light is like a candle. The second is like a reflection. Oh, so that's the difference between... Refulgent is a reflected light, whereas fulgrid is like a candle light. Okay. Okay. Interesting. A shape rotator speaking as a word cell. Yeah, refulgent is then reflection, okay. Because then that was also the orb shining with a refulgent light, whereas the robe had a full grid splendor. Okay. It's coming together now, guys. Thank you for leading me through my my word cellness. Okay, now we got something on the sistrum. The sistrum is designed to represent to us that everything must be kept in continual agitation and never cease from motion, that they ought to be mused and well shaken whenever they begin to grow drowsy, as it were, and to droop in their motion. For say they, the sound of these sistra averts and drives away typho, meaning hereby that as corruption clogs and puts a stop to the regular course of nature, so generation by means of motion loosens it again, and restores it to its former vigor. Now the outer surface of this instrument is of a convex figure, as within its circumference are contained those 4 chords or bars, only 3 shown, which make such a rattling when they are shaken, nor is this without its meaning. For that part of the universe which is subject to generation and corruption is contained within the sphere of the moon. And whatever motions or changes may happen therein, they are all affected by the different combinations of the 4 elementary bodies: fire, earth, water, and air. So when you get one with 4, that's meant to symbolize the 4 elements. Moreover, upon the upper part of the convex surface, the sistrum is carved with the effigies of a cat. Okay, I guess, what is it? Are these supposed to be cats? Or on different sistrums, they'll have different things. With a human visage. Oh, okay. Lol. On the lower edge of it, under those moving chords, is engraved on the one side the face of Isis, and on the other that of Nephis, by the faces symbolically representing generation and corruption. Okay, so night and day, dark and light, corruption and without, which has been already observed, is nothing but the motion and alteration of the 4 elements, one amongst the other. Very interesting. Very interblasting. So we've gotten pretty hashtag deep in this. It's a good place. We've got some wall of text coming up, Jesus. Maybe we'll do a couple more paragraphs before we call it. Yes, his audience was probably aristocraft, word cell, shape rotators, not telegram degens. Yes, very true. Aristocraft was better than aristocrat, though. Aristocrafts. That's what we all aspire to. Yes. Let's just keep going a little bit. The green color alludes to the vegetation which covers the face of the earth, and therefore represents the robe of nature. The black represents death and corruption, as being the way to a new life and generation. Except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. White, yellow, and red signify the 3 principal colors of the alchemical, hermetical, universal medicine after the blackness of putrefaction is over. The ancients gave the name Isis to one of their occult medicines. Really? Therefore, the description here given relates somewhat to chemistry. Her black drape also signifies that the moon, or the lunar humidity, the sophic universal mercury, and the operating substance of nature in alchemical terminology, has no light of its own, but receives its light, its fire, and its vitalizing force from the sun. Ice was the image of the representative of the great works of the wise men, i.e. the Philosopher's Stone, the elixir of life, and the universal medicine. Yes. We talking about the secret chat? If you're a Gnostic Hierophant, you should get access to the secret chat link. Other hieroglyphs seen in connection with Isis are no less curious than those already described, but it is impossible to enumerate all. For many symbols were used interchangeably by the Egyptian Hermeticists. The goddess often wore upon her head a hat made of cypress branches to signify mourning for her dead husband, and also for the physical death which she caused every creature to undergo in order to receive a new life in posterity, or a periodic resurrection. The head of Isis is sometimes ornamented with a crown of gold or garland of olive leaves, as conspicuous marks of her sovereignty as a queen of the world and mistress of the entire universe. The crown of gold signifies also the honorific unctuosity or sulphurous fatness of the solar and vital fires which she dispenses to every individual by a continual circulation of the elements, the circulation being symbolized by the musical rattle, which she carries in her hand. This sistrum is also the Ionic symbol of purity. Interesting. Rattles and their esotericism. Very interesting. Our tuition. Do I dare dwell within the secret chat? Yeah. Come and join us for our little monthly Friends Barden groups as well. Yeah, I don't know. Some of these I'm like, is that just a spelling error? Unctuosity? Or sulphurous? Honorific is aura. Is this a word? Let's check it. Let's check it. Unctuosity. The quality of being excessively flat or ingratiating. Greasy or oily. Okay, that's what it means. The honorific like fat, the sun, that's why he says sulphurous fatness. Unctuosity. The steak I had last night had horrific unctuosity to it. Bro, that's such a term. What was the one where it was like about the hair again? That was the the promiscuous hair. That was like the best line ever. It was like, we're down here. Let me just highlight where we are, just past the sistrum. Oh man, where was it? That was just the best line ever about the promiscuous hair. I think that was my favorite prose mark of today. Was it right at the beginning? Nah, I've lost it. I swear it was like in one of these. Very refulgent stream tonight, I know, right? Bro, we're learning prose here. I swear, where was her hair? Was it here? Some of the head. Nah. No, yeah. It was... Yeah, her hair was promiscuously scattered. That was the two terms. Her hair was promiscuously scattered around her neck. That was... So it's not just promiscuity, it's the scattering that it just gives this, like, such a rich... Yeah, and also the entorted part is quite funny. Her most copious and long hairs gradually entorted and promiscuously scattered around her neck. That's just mwah, a fantastic description of a woman. That's like, and they say men can't describe women well in stories. Bro, if anyone becomes a writer, you gotta use the term her hair was promiscuously scattered around her neck. That's peak description right there. If you're gonna be gooning while writing, you gotta drop that one in, just because it's such a good line. It's so descriptive. Anyway, we're getting late in the day here. We're an hour and 20 in. Can't wait for Neuralink to make your holy guardian angel a waifu. I don't think that's a good idea, bro. But you know what is a good idea? To reveal the tarot card from today. So everyone who was late, last chance, Carl can see it. Carl knows what one it is. We got a tarot card, and the tarot card is very symbolic. Very connected to what we're talking about today. So drop your last guesses in. We got Moon, we got Sun, we got Chariot, High Priest, Lovers. Nulu going for Wheel of Fortune, Big Hole Art going for Moon. We got a couple of Moon guesses, okay. Empress, another for a Moon. Oh no, Big Hole just saying Moon again. Altuition going for Moon. Necrodancer going for Moon. Well, guess what, guys? Guess what, guys? Everyone who went for the Moon, guess what? You are wrong. Nulu was right again. Nulu, bro. This is like, you're like 2 for 2. Or is this like your third guess correct as well? Like, bro, Nulu, when you, today, when I held this up, what did you feel that made you think Wheel of Fortune? Because this is crazy, because we got the Sphinx at the top, we got the 4 elements, the 4 animals around. And not only that, but also you could say we got the serpent coming down, and then we got a little Hermes, Lucifer, Typhon kind of coming up. Big wheel keeps on turning. I think someone else also guessed wheel as well. Who else guessed wheel? Was that Enigma? But Nulu was the one who guessed Wheel of Fortune. Nulu, congratulations. Someone gift Nulu a membership on my behalf. Because I'm not, can I do it here? I wish I did have that capacity. Wait, let me just see. You said you hate Wheel of Fortune, and you said it before. I also looked up the Major Arcana. It was the first card I looked at. Okay, so it was... okay. I mean, it was the first one you looked at. That's kind of interesting. Did I say I hate Wheel of Fortune in another... thingamaboob? Bruh, I'm tripping. In another stream, did I say it? And thank you, Tyler, for the $20. Whimsy maxing is the only way to discern a card. Yeah, just by going off pure instinct. It looks like I can only put you in timeout or make you a moderator, Nulu. I can't gift you subs. Actually, what if? What if? Let me just see. Oh my god. Can I do it on my phone? No, it's not going to work. Nah. Man. Super chat, membership gifting. Does it just randomize who the sub goes to? Oh damn, everyone gifting memberships? Yeah. I tried to gift a membership, but it just randomizes. Thank you, Tyler, for gifting 5 memberships, by the way. Wheel of Fortune, exactly. It's completely randomized, so that's actually very Wheel of Fortune. That's very Wheel of Fortune. There is a way to pick? Okay. I wish you could just click on someone's name in chat and then just gift this person a sub. This is where YouTube just fails. I really need to get, like, also StreamYard going properly. Just so I can use that. I gotta figure out all the things, like also how to have chat displayed on screen, so people, like, watching in future can just see it. Wheel of Fortune. Toast these nuts. Okay, whatever. All these randoms getting gifted subs. Based on wheel pilled, indeed. Yakub. Anyway. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for participating. Everyone, drop a bird in the chat. I hope you've all had a good week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.